So this is fun. There's so many ways we could go, and picking out a bad social media post or share or bad social media content in general is like the easiest. It is shooting fish in a barrel. You have to really weed it down. But the one this week is just egregious. I mean, it is bad even by this segment standards and what we think will be happening going forward. So we'll start here. It's technically a tweet from Chris Broussard, although he is not the subject of our scorn. This was a few days ago. Chris Broussard, quote, "Did this season prove Tom Brady is the GOAT or the LOAT? Rob Parker and I discussed." Now, for those that aren't familiar, LOAT is luckiest of all time, which is what Rob Parker from FS1 has described Tom Brady as. So they are teasing this clip in which Rob Parker continues, even right on the heels of yet another Tom Brady Super Bowl berth. He is continuing this crusade that Tom Brady is just lucky. He's a solid quarterback that just has stumbled into his good fortune again and again and again. That's Rob Parker's position. We'll play a clip from this.
Yeah, it was typical Tom Brady. Nothing's changed in my mind. It actually reinforced what I've been saying forever, that Tom Brady continues to be the luckiest of all time. And it doesn't mean that he didn't make any plays or he didn't play well at some point, but he's lucky. Things have always seemed to work out for him, dating back to the start of him as an NFL player with the tuck rule and when he fumbled the ball. It's just always seemed to work.
Okay, so this is just, there's certain arguments in sports. You can argue about almost anything and play the devil's advocate, play the high school debate team. Okay, you take side A, you take counterpoint, you take pro, whatever. You can do that with almost anything. Like even the Michael Jordan thing, I think he's probably still the best of all time, but there's a ton of arguments for LeBron James. There's certain, and there's very few arguments that should be automatically disqualifying because they are settled science, and that is this Tom Brady thing. I am a Michigan State guy. I do not like Michigan. Tom Brady is the best quarterback of all time, probably the best football player of all time. That's done. And this idea that he's lucky, you need to be in a position to have luck matter in the first place. So he keeps citing, Rob Parker goes throughout this clip and for years has railed on this. This example in the AFC title game or this example in the Super Bowl. Hey, Rob, you have to actually get to the AFC title game. You have to actually get to the Super Bowl to find the luck that you're apparently finding. And what run in the history of sports, NFL, hockey, NHL, whatever, doesn't have multiple examples of lucky breaks, quote unquote, along the way? It's just ridiculous. I don't know if he's trolling or what it is, but it's just Tom Brady is beyond reproach. I wouldn't say I'm a Tom Brady fan, but you got to respect him. And Rob Parker's out here clowning. It's just a ridiculous take. And he talks about the one time that he almost gave Tom Brady credit. This clip is just really something else. Rob Parker.
And the one time, and when people say, oh, you can't give many, there was one time I thought Tom Brady had something going. And that was with the 18-0 Patriots. That's when I thought, okay, if this guy can complete that, Randy Moss, the numbers, 50 touchdowns, that was the one year I really was like, okay, maybe Brady has something going here. But the defense didn't bail him out that day. That team averaged 35 points. Brady scored 14. Wasn't enough. And the defense wasn't able to stop Eli at the end, and they wound up losing.
Okay, my brain hurts. I mean, this is the brain pain, coach. This is unbelievable. The one time that Rob Parker almost didn't, but almost gave Tom Brady credit was when he went 18-0 and lost in a coin flip finish to a New York Giants team in the Super Bowl. Never mind the 6 titles, never mind the other half a dozen close calls. The one time that he almost gave Tom Brady credit was the 18-0 team. But even that 18-1 team, as it turned out, Rob Parker doesn't find that too impressive either. So at what point, if Tom Brady can't earn Rob Parker's coveted respect, I don't know who can. And again, I don't know. Skip Bayless doesn't believe a single thing he says. I believe that. I think he is a complete act entirely. I think Rob Parker actually believes this stuff, which I don't know what's worse, like being a fraud or just being off the reservation, but this position that he's taking is just ridiculous, and it has been for years.
Freaking idiot. Shouldn't even have a show.